Dan Senor has spent years working on the Hill and in the White House. He was a senior advisor to Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan in the 2012 presidential campaign. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
We're going to talk about General Kelly, but first, this story. I mean, can you imagine what are the implications if, in fact, the president, in a sense, wrote the initial statement?
It sounds like there's not a legal issue if he's shaping a statement that's just basically a PR document. So, I mean, it's problematic, but it's not a legal issue. The question is, I think what many will wonder, many observers and potentially many investigators like Bob Mueller will wonder is if he's so loose with what he will say and so directly involved with the process of potentially misleading with a communications document, does that translate also over to what he will be or has done in terms of communications with investigators? So that's where the questions, I think, will come up.
One of the questions everybody has always been asking is who can say no to the president?
Right.
Do we now have someone who can say no to the president?
I think we have someone who can say no to the president. The question is, will the president listen? And it actually relates directly to your previous question. So John Kelly is a master of discipline and organization. He's an organization man. He will bring discipline, or at least try to bring discipline and organization to this White House. And it sounds like that is the agreement he got from President Trump, that he is in charge, that there will be a formal chain of command. This whole term walk-in privileges, where, 10, 15 members of the senior staff can just walk into the Oval Office whenever they want and be able to talk to the president, that's over. If someone wants to disseminate information to the president, if someone wants to have a conversation with the president, that all has to be coordinated through the chief of staff. By the way, we talk about that now like it's a foreign concept. It's the way it's always been done. It's what we've experienced in the last 6 months has been an aberration. So he's just trying to restore what some might call regular order. Right. The challenge here is Trump has this network, this sort of Rolodex of relationships, some of them family, some of them just friends all over the place, that he's constantly consulting with. How does John Kelly control that? If the president's children want to have a conversation with the president outside of the White House about some policy matter, how does the chief of staff control that? If the president on the weekend in Mar-a-Lago wants to check in with friends and pick their brain, how does the chief of staff control that? I think that gets complicated. How does the chief of staff say to the president, Mr. President, you can't weigh in on your son's statement on a legal matter?
Right. And when you get to what the president's actually trying to get done legislatively, does the fact that John Kelly, while he has this distinguished national security career, doesn't have legislative experience really hurt the president in some way?
Well, no, I think he definitely helps for the following. You need two inputs in order to advance a policy agenda. One, you need just basic organization and discipline. So over the last couple of days, the president was attacking Mitch McConnell on Twitter, sort of like baiting Mitch McConnell to try to move forward with health care reform. Right. So you don't go, if you want a successful legislative affairs strategy, you don't go after the Senate Majority Leader of your own party, no less. So if Kelly can rein in that, just that basic organization and discipline, that will help a lot. But you also need people around the president with serious policy chops when it comes to governing. The White House is light on that right now, but I think Kelly can recruit that. So I think Kelly brings organization and discipline. If they can recruit policy chops and the organization and discipline holds, meaning the president listens to Kelly, I think they can start moving forward on tax reform, actually.
Great to have you, Dan.
Good to be with you.
You're predicting hiring, not firing. It's interesting.
Right. Yes.